So I had to jack off after finishing this VN. Now I've had my fair share of VNs. Get the fuck out of here! And it's not uncommon for me to relieve myself after I finish them, which is not a bad thing. Just don't ask for which eroge I jerked off to. Believe me, after I finished just the worst route alone of White Album 2, I was walking back and forth around my bed, contemplating on life. Then I did some rigorous exercise to relieve the heartache. Then I've continued finishing the remaining routes. And then I jerked off again. By the way, this is my first time making a review, so I apologize for any awkwardness or mistakes beforehand. And feel free to give out your own opinions after you're done watching down in the comment section below. So, while other reviewers try to make a detailed review, I, on the other hand, will make a degenerate one, so bear with me. So what drove me to make this video is because I do indeed love this VN, and also because I want to share its value to you guys, both the good and the bad. And also because I can get around the bloody copyright problems. Now as a start, I see White Album 2 as one of those stories, those love triangle stories, but with music as a plot device to move the story forward. So I wouldn't exactly say it's a typical romance. And as for the characters involved in this love triangle, we have a lucky bastard who's in a dilemma as the protagonist, a devil in disguise, and best girl. Now, if you haven't clicked the dislike button and left the video, then I commend you. You're the type of audience that I wish to share with because either you are patient and or you like Kazusa. So let me finish. I'm just saying that I like Kazusa the most, but there's more to this story and the devil than meets the eye. Moving on, as you may or may not know, this visual novel consists of 3 chapters, which is the introductory chapter, the closing chapter, and Coda. And as for you anime onlys, the anime adaptation only covers the introductory chapter, which is the common route. To me, I think the common route is a bit shorter than the sequel chapters, and speaking of the length, I'm sorry, I have to admit I did not time myself playing this entire visual novel because I did not plan on making a video on it, but I will do from now on for future videos. Still, I took around 6 days to finish the visual novel. Around there, yeah. But if I were to give it a number in hours, it's probably around 40 or 50 hours. Now, a story will usually follow a certain structure, the plot pyramid. First, we have the undressing phase, then the foreplay and the thrusting to build the momentum, and then the orgasm, and then the cuddling phase, and then lights out. The 3 parts follow the story structure individually, like this. And do you see these 3 sections here? Let me tell you, they really do climax. For the introductory chapter or the common route, there are no choices to choose from, so just enjoy the ride. And if I were to compare it to the anime adaptation, I would say it's spot on. Actually, I watched the anime before playing the VN, and now to be honest, I think that moving on from the anime to the VN is better for more patient people and for those that have more time on their hands. But then again, hey, it's a visual novel, right? I mean, those who doesn't have time don't explore visual novels, am I right? It's because at most times, you won't actually get disappointed by the adaptation if it's bad, because you're playing the actual source, the visual novel, after and not before watching the adaptation. There were some scenes in the visual novel that were cut, but it's not uncommon because it's only natural to have the adaptation cut some scenes due to time and budget constraints. I find some of these scenes to be sort of important, and no, I don't mean the fun scenes, but some of these scenes, they don't appear until you play the common route for a second time, which I have no problem of because it gives off a nicer perspective until after you've played the 3rd part, meaning you've finished the entire visual novel. I really enjoyed those extra CGs after I've played the common route for a second time. And no, I didn't play the whole thing again, I just skipped to the new scenes. That's what the already read skip feature is for. So if you are planning to play the VN, then I recommend just go through the common route like usual, because it gives off a more detailed perspective than the anime in my opinion. But then again, hey, the anime is like what, years ago, you've probably forgotten what happened, because I know I did. Well, unless you've already watched it, you just watched it recently, or you re-watched it, so hey, just play the damn VN. Moving on to the second part of the chapter, the closing chapter. Okay, since the first part setting is during high school, like a lot of anime, the second part is during the university days, and you'll be introduced to 3 new waifu routes: Onechan material, MILF, and the high school kohai. I'm evil for saying this, but this girl doesn't matter. I feel bad for her. As for me, well, I follow the guide because I want to save the routes that I like more as the last. Well, as they say, save the best for last, right? But I will link the guide down in the description down below. Then we have the last chapter, Coda, which takes place during the working adult phase. Boy, this part. Now, I believe you guys have watched Gigat's video on ending an anime. I think that it very much applies to this part because an ending is what makes a series memorable. And if it's done well, really well, or really badly, then you get to remember it for a long time. For Coda, you will need to go through Setsuna's route back in the closing chapter in order to gain access to this final part. And then you'll be given 4 new routes to choose from. Kazusa's, Setsuna's, the normal end, and the cheating end. Naturally, I also used the guide and played through the cheating route first. Ethically speaking, it is the worst route. And it's not bad in terms of story, I'm just saying that cheating is bad, so don't cheat. Then I saved the route that I thought was the best for last. What I thought was the best. The writer did me dirty. Okay, as for my opinions, let's first talk about the technical stuff of the visual novel. I only have one serious complaint. Could someone please explain what the f is with this page? Now, a lot of the visual novels that I have played has this feature, which I do not understand. So someone please share the reason why and save me my misery. I have been playing visual novels for 10 years, and I still don't know why this feature exists. Because to me, muting individual characters would be considered rude to the voice actors that devoted themselves to the said characters. They put their hard work into giving life to even a simple character. So this feature that silences them shouldn't exist. So VN Studios, hear me out. Unless people can give me the reason to why this page exists, get rid of it, please. Use the small amount of budget that you use to make that page for another CG scene or something, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, there is a voice actor for the MC in this VN. That case is rare. I'm not saying that I hate him, I just wanted to point it out to you guys. Other technical stuff, I'm fine with it. The translation is fine, though I have received a link concerning the translation of the VN from a fellow cultured degenerate, saying that the translation was kind of crappy, though personally to me, I think it was fine, the grammar was fine, and hey, at least it was readable English, am I right? Now that's the technical stuff done. Now I want to talk about what I don't like in this VN in terms of story. So please skip to this time slot here if you don't have faith in me not spoiling the story. You have 3 seconds. Okay, I'll be straightforward here. What I hate the most in this visual novel is how Setsuna's character affects every route heavily. Don't get me wrong, I do not hate her. I could never hate her. It's just that every single route I went through, every single damn route, even her own, she's like... She gives you the emotional bomb no matter which route you take. You take the Kohai's route, she hits you. You take the MILF route, she slaps you. You take the Onesan's route, she bombs you. And if you take Kazusa's route, she f***ing nukes you. It is an emotional burden that I could not cope with. But I can't blame it on her. She's too nice, that's just her character. And having the MC being too nice as well doesn't help either. In my opinion, sometimes you gotta be selfish and stand up for yourself in a relationship. But don't take it from me, I'm single. But honestly though, it's sometimes because of the excessive niceness that it could ruin a relationship. And as I've learned from a TV show called House MD, excessive niceness generally comes from guilt. And that is very true in this visual novel. I think Setsuna's the anchor in the MC's relationship. She drags you down in the bottom endless pit of guilt, intentionally or unintentionally. So that's why I call her like a demon in disguise. But hey, I don't dislike demons. They're hot and they turn me on. As for what I enjoyed, I really love this pair the most. To me, they're like the best of friends you could ever have, and you're damn lucky to have them. They really give meaning to the existence of supporting characters because they support the main characters so well. Personally speaking, I like to see how good a story is based on the supporting characters instead of the main, because the supporting ones are the ones that shape the main characters. And speaking of this pair, Takeya here is my favorite character in the entire story. He's not just a wingman, he's the wingman. And he's some sort of a ladies' man, but he can't deal with a certain female character, like... Yeah, gotta give credit to the voice actor there. Okay, so for my general opinions on the stuff that I consider to not be spoiler-ish, I find the story all in all to be really nicely developed throughout the 3 parts, while also showing the passing of time, the 3 different settings, the high school life, the university, and finally the working adult life. As for the characters, I will have to say that each character gave meaning to the MC, and each character has their own connections with each other. Like for example, these 4, and any scene with these 4 is automatically a great scene to me. Their relationship with each other is just something that I'm envious of. The music? Well, I don't think you can really complain about Japanese OSTs, can you? In fact, I think that the music used in these stories works so well to the point that the song itself basically tells you the direction of the story. Okay, I'm not a music expert, but at least I think that, for example, the song White Album, the direction of that song just feels similar to the plot, more suitable to the first chapter, but it could be interpreted as the entire story combined, hence the name of the story, White Album. I don't have much to say about the second song, Sound of Destiny, but for the third song, Todokanai Koi, oh boy, that song works damn well in the third part. And as a result of that, I love the version of Todokanai Koi. That version hit me the most in the third part. Remember what I said earlier in the earlier parts of the video? I'm just saying that I like Kazusa the most, but there's more to this story and the devil than meets the eye. So, I gotta say, for my fellow fans of Kazusa, I must say that Setsuna's route is the best. I'm sorry. Okay, I get it. But you will understand once you've played her route. It gave off that fulfilling moment. Like when you watch hentai and the protagonist just cream pies. That kind of fulfilling moment. Heck, it's even better than that. That being said, I do find Kazusa's route to be the true end, so I would like to separate what's the true end, what's the best end. Personally speaking, I prefer Kazusa's route and I still find her as my best girl. But then, this happened. Holy fuck. Well, regardless, I still find her as best girl because I simply don't deserve Setsuna. She's just too pure of an angel. But if I were to limit the choices to these 3, I would definitely pick Chiaki here. I know, I too believe in MILF supremacy, but Onechan Material Heal just wins in this series, man. And speaking of MILF supremacy, you remember that I mentioned that Takeya is my favorite character in the series, right? Well, that was sort of a lie because this MILF here is irresistible. MILF all the way. NTR is sometimes necessary. I'm just saying that cheating is bad, so don't cheat.
Target locked.
Alright, saving the best discussion for last. The fun parts. They're alright, nothing too special. If anything, I do find it to be sensual and not too long, not too short, just right. Though I do feel weirded out by hearing the MC's voice actor voicing these romantic scenes. Probably because that I haven't experienced a lot of VNs with a voiced MC voicing these important scenes. But hey, there's this option to disable the MC's voice actor. Well, if you guys want to relieve yourselves without hearing a dude's voice while doing business. In my experience, which is no experience, yes, I did not fap to this VN. Guys, I'm serious. I just haven't. Kazusa scenes have a route problem. Setsunas are just too pure. MILF scenes have like MC's problem, MC's fault. Kohai scenes that I'm not gonna pull my gun out for a Kohai. And Chiaki's, actually, why didn't I? But rest assured, the scenes themselves are pretty
Nice.
So if you guys plan on playing, I recommend the best walkthrough as shown on screen. Because honestly guys, despite me saying that Kazusa is best girl, Setsuna's route is just the best for the story. All in all, I just want to say that I love this VN. And if I were to give it a score, I will only give it between 2 points, a 6 or a 9. Why these 2 points? 6 because I'm too nice, I could never rate anything below 6, and 9 because there's no perfect story. So 9 is the highest. So 6 or 9. Should you read it or should you not? It's a 9. Definitely a 9, guys. You should play it. Well, that's all for me. I hope that I didn't spoil too much, and I do hope that you guys can give me a feedback on me making a video like this so that I can improve on the next ones, because I want to share more VNs that I love and I want to increase the number of VN players in the world. Till later, Degens.